Please remain standing for the national anthem of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Of Guyana, of rivers and plains, made rich by the sunshine and lush by the rain. Set gem-like and fair between mountains and sea, your children salute you, dear land of the free. Thank you. Please be seated. Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Brigadier Mark Phillips, Prime Minister of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, our Minister with responsibility for education, Honorable Minister Parry, other cabinet ministers, members of parliament, heads of diplomatic missions and organizations resident in Guyana, Chancellor Sir Ronald Sanders, Pro-Chancellor Professor Randolph Persaud, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, other esteemed guests from the Ministry of Education, the Chief Education Officer, Mr. Saddam Hussein, members of the University of Guyana Council, members of the university's senior management team, former Chancellor, University of Guyana, Professor Edward Green, Chair of the Committee of Deans, Professor Leland Lucas, representatives of workers, the Students' Society, the Guild of Graduates, heads, and representatives from visiting regional academic institutions, members of the media, members of the university community, and those critical stakeholders, our students. Welcome to this historic installation of our Chancellor, Sir Ronald Sanders. And as we celebrate this historic occasion, having been established in 1963, today's solemn and historic installation of the University of Guyana's Chancellor presents for us a rare but special opportunity as an institution to be anchored by faith and grounded by progress. It is my special privilege and pleasure, Chancellor, to invite and request of the university's distinguished Vice-Chancellor to open the installation of this solemn ceremony. Please help me welcome the university's distinguished Vice-Chancellor, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we're delighted to welcome you to the university again, as well as the Prime Minister and our dear new Minister of Education, Ms. Sonia Parag. We have in the first line over here members of the Diplomatic Corps and the Ministry of Education. We welcome you. We also welcome our distinguished guests from overseas who will bring greetings. We welcome all the members of the Guyana Diplomatic Corps who are present and online, students and everyone. It is a beautiful day in which a beautiful thing will happen shortly, and I do not plan to stand between you and that beautiful thing. And so therefore, in the words of brevity and in the spirit of brevity, I will now proceed to have the installation begin. Thank you.
Chancellor, it is now my seminal pleasure and privilege, and I'm humble. I'm humbled, and I ask of you that our Vice-Chancellor to do the pleasurable and historic distinction and to inform that the College Council of the University of Guyana, by virtue of the powers vested in it under the University of Guyana Act, Chapter 3902, and the statutes made thereunder, and after due consultation, consideration, and deliberation, and consequent of the expiry of the term of office of Professor John Edward Green, appointed his successor as the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana. I now have the honor to request of you, Vice-Chancellor, to install Sir Ronald Sanders as the 11th Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana.
Sir Ronald Sanders, I have the honor to express the deep satisfaction of the University of Guyana that you have consented to accept the distinguished office of our Chancellor. It is now my duty to ask you to make a declaration that you will maintain and uphold the privileges and rights of the university. Sir Ronald, might I invite you to the microphone, please?
I, Ronald Sanders, do solemnly declare that I will faithfully and to the best of my ability discharge all the duties and obligations pertaining to the office of the Chancellor of this University of Guyana in accordance with the Act and statutes, ordinances, and regulations made or established in that behalf, and will promote the well-being of the university and that of its members so far as lies my power.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Sir Ronald Sanders. Thank you very much. An important aspect of the symbolism of this occasion is the presence of the mace, which is the symbol of authority conferred on our Chancellor, having just been installed as the University of Guyana's 11th Chancellor. The mace is now appropriately lowered, and I now invite our Vice-Chancellor.
Thank you. Chancellor, I install you in your chair of office as Chancellor of the University of Guyana, and I express the sincere hope and wish that the University of Guyana will flourish and prosper under your distinguished and wise guidance.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. I am humbled, but honored on this very special and historic occasion, Chancellor, to invite His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, to bring greetings for and on behalf of the government and people of Guyana. Please help me welcome His Excellency the President.
Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Our distinguished Prime Minister, Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, and all senior members and faculty of the University of Guyana. It gives me great honor and privilege on behalf of the government and people of Guyana to congratulate a distinguished son of the soil, Sir Ronald Sanders, on his appointment and his oath of office this morning. Please join me in applauding him on behalf of our country. Sir Ron is no stranger to this region's development process. He is no stranger to the world of academia. He is no stranger to research. He is no stranger to diligent work. And he is no stranger to transforming things, including institutions. So I believe that at this time in our history, and as the world undergo immense change, it is appropriate that we have a bridge that would help us to navigate the changing world and the changing environment in which education must be pursued and delivered. One of the things that would not change in this world is the need for knowledge, is the importance of developing ideas and creating opportunities for those ideas to improve and expand national prosperity. It is only through ideas that new discoveries are made. It is only through good research and ideas that new products are developed. And it is only through new products we can expand our prosperity and ensure that our prosperity is built on a diversified platform. It is therefore important that as we pursue this era of free education, that education be of a quality, and importantly, that education be matched to our national development priorities. Sometimes we can get carried away that free education means the delivery of every form of education, every program on art we may want to deliver. But our education must be matched to that national agenda, to our national development priority. And for us, we have said that our national development and prosperity must lead to regional prosperity and greater regional integration. Any successful academic institution or university in today's world must be strong in research, must be able to deliver research paper that can stand scrutiny, must be able to contribute to literature and research. And the University of Guyana must occupy a deliberate space here nationally and in our region to begin with in terms of research. The world is moving away from the traditional form of academic qualification. Degrees, diplomas, masters, and PhDs are very important, but we must align those qualifications with professional designations, because that is a direction that the world is heading into. How we ensure that our education system here at the university is integrated in those professional institutions. For example, how does our degree in project management lead to a PMI certification, or a degree in accountancy lead to ACCA certification? It is extremely important that this integration and integrated approach to global qualification of our manpower be established, especially given the fact that our economy is more closely aligned to global realities today. We have a sprawling and important piece of real estate here at the University of Guyana. I believe that it is important that we optimize the assets of the University of Guyana. And we have to come up with a clear strategy as to how we optimize the assets of the University of Guyana. This is critical as we build an institution that will be able to stand on its own strong footing. If you look at most of the successful universities, they play a very important role in the definition of what is occurring in the economy and the society. And we can do that if we optimize the University of Guyana. The free education must allow us to reach the unreached. We have to ensure that whatever the University of Guyana does, that we are able to reach the unreached. We have to be able, and Chancellor Sir Ronald, you're positioned in a very special way in the international diplomatic community. And it's important that the recognition that Guyana is getting at the global level, and you are aware of this, and the growing diplomacy we are creating in places like the Middle East, that the university follow this expansion, and that the university also benefit from this expansion in our international relations at a national level. So I believe that your strength in diplomacy, in this diplomatic network, allows a smoother transit for the University of Guyana to become embedded in what is happening around the world. You know, today in the Middle East, that was known for massive oil reserve and oil. The focus now is how do they convert within the country oil into energy, and how energy brings new opportunities in technology, in the creation of new products, and so on. So we have to understand that we're living in a complex environment, one in which the focus has to be on optimizing our energy potential, and that energy potential leading to industrialization, manufacturing, technology, and all of these things. So I believe that it is extremely important that the alignment of this national outlook and university be pursued in a way in which both the university, the graduates from the university, and the country would benefit. The office of the Chancellor of the University of Guyana is not ornamental. I know the fanfare and all of these things sometimes allow us to sometimes miss the more important, not that those are not important, but the more important occasion, and that is what the office represents, who is the person we are installing, what he brings to the university, and how this transformation would align our work. It is very important for me, even before I continue to once again thank our immediate past Chancellor for his exceptional service and for allowing us to benefit from his time, his expertise, and his wisdom. And I ask all of you to applaud him. As I said, the office of the Chancellor is not ornamental. It is rooted in historic responsibility. Section 9.2 of the University of Guyana Act establishes the Chancellor as the head and chief officer of the University of Guyana and as president of its council and guild of graduates. The chancellorship thus stands at the very heart of the university. It stands as a protector of the university's heritage, standards, and the binding force linking generations of scholars. Today, I offer profound appreciation to Sir Ronald Sanders for accepting this high calling as our university's 11th Chancellor. He is more than eminently qualified to hold this position. His long and distinguished career in diplomacy, scholarship, and public service makes him more than ably qualified for the post. The University of Guyana is extremely fortunate to count him as its 11th Chancellor. I have no doubt that as he has done throughout his eminent life of service, he will provide enlightened leadership, wise counsel, and distinguished guardianship to this institution. Sir Ronald Sanders assumes this role at a critical hour in the life of this institution. Guyana stands in a season of heightened economic transformation. Our best days are no longer distant dreams. They're gathering at our doorsteps. In such a moment, the nation requires a national university of strength and stature, one that will supply a continuous crop of highly trained and skilled graduates across every discipline to propel and sustain our development. As I said earlier, highly skilled and trained graduates include those critical international certification that must accompany the degree to meet the demands of our country now and in the future. Very critical certification that must come along with those qualifications. It is also important that we look at our programs in a more holistic way. You know, a mechanical engineer must not only believe that when you come out with a degree in engineering, that you're coming out to be a supervisor or someone. You must be able to have the technical expertise. So we would like to see our mechanical engineers also having a global certification in fabrication and welding, so that they can actually pick up the tools and do the work. It is important. So we have to find ways, and we are doing this already, ways in which we can integrate that training and certification into the program. We launched a welding and fabrication program with the nation's school, and they had a collaboration with the UK. Those persons were certified, and 95% of all those who went through the program would have been employed as I speak to you today. 95%. And that is simply one difference, is that they had that certification that is required in the industry. So we have to look at the realities of the society, the realities of the economy, and the realities of the industries that are being developed in Guyana. If you come out with let us say, you come out with a degree in food engineering. I know you're not doing this, but food engineering, and you don't have the ISO certification to operate at a certain level, then you may get a job, but you will not allow yourself to optimize the training. So every qualification comes with a certification that matches that qualification, that allow the graduate to be globally marketable. And it's important that we understand this in this new frame of development. The University of Guyana must be that fountain of knowledge where research pioneers new frontiers and where character is shaped and molded for service. It must serve as both conscience and catalyst, preserving truth, advancing inquiry, and equipping generations to lead our nation into a glorious and democratic future. I have every confidence that under the stewardship of Chancellor Sanders, this sacred mission will be pursued with renewed vigor and vision. Sir Ronald Sanders is a patriot in the truest and noblest sense of the word. His commitment to Guyana and the Caribbean has never been one of convenience or has never been one of an episode. It has been constant and consistent. Such a man does not simply accept office. He consecrates it. As the University of Guyana advances towards its inevitable destiny as a world-class center of tertiary education, his knowledge, international stature, and tested leadership will be an immeasurable asset. To him, the university gains not only a chancellor, but someone who will ensure that the university's standing will rise globally. May his tenure be marked by excellence and enduring achievement, and may every success attend him as he leads this great institution forward. Once again, congratulations, and I thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Be seated. Chancellor, we thank His Excellency for a very profound charge as we chart our way of a new university taking a leading role in our hemisphere. Thank you, Mr. President. Chancellor, I now have the distinct honor of inviting the Republic's Prime Minister, the Honorable Brigadier Mark Anthony Phillips, to announce that he concurs with the remarks presented by His Excellency for and on behalf of the government and people, and would wish to be associated with those remarks. Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister. Chancellor, it is now my pleasure to invite to address us and to bring brief greetings the former Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor John Edward Green, to whom I invite to bring those greetings. Please help me welcome Professor John Edward Green.
Esteemed President of the Republic of Guyana, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, esteemed Prime Minister, Chancellor, Sir Ronald, all other protocols already established will be observed. Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and importantly, the students of the University of Guyana. Just over 6 years ago, I accepted the mantle of Chancellor with a vision for growth of this university. I did not realize then that the greatest growth would come not from prosperity, but from the crucible of a global pandemic. During the COVID-19 era, I had the distinct honor of witnessing firsthand the breathtaking resilience of our university's leadership and that of the staff and students. While the world paused, the University of Guyana moved forward, adapting, innovating, and proving that the spirit of the institution is unbreakable. This resilience, Chancellor, is the greatest gift that I think I have left behind. There are other memorable achievements I witnessed as chair of the council, which can only be sketched at this time. There are the institutional accreditation of the university in 2025, a major step in the university's global recognition. The award of over 40 PhDs between 2019 and 2025 under the Staff Improvement Scheme, led by Vice-Chancellor Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin. Then there's the establishment of the Institute of Marine and Riverine Ecologies and Economics, headquarters at the Berbice campus, where we had a magnificent celebration yesterday. There is also Project Alpha, a virtual, augmented, and immersive education platform, a game changer that incorporates AI to ensure that students learn at a pace tailored to their needs. There is also the proposal for a University of Guyana research enterprise development, an innovative procedure intended to leverage the government's network and the university's network skills and abilities and map them to benefit the emerging lucrative business environment that Guyana is currently experiencing. And then there is, to me, a very important initiative of collaboration with the University of Guyana's outreach in Macau, and also in collaboration with the Ashland and the communities in the interior of Guyana for a campus to be located there. Then there is a new medical complex at the Turkine campus with modern equipment to enhance the training and the varying branches of medicine, including dentistry, which was completed in mid-2025. And finally, among others, I was excited to be part of the graduation ceremonies of over 15,000 students of this university in all disciplines over the 5 graduation ceremonies that I presided over. Chancellor, permit me to tell you that those graduation ceremonies were joyous occasions. But, Chancellor, they require fortitude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is the current establishment and functioning of the University of Guyana Foundation, now in its 4th year, which hopefully will be an enduring legacy that intertwines my tenure with yours. And I'm happy that joining me today on this auspicious occasion are 4 of 6 honorary patrons and 9 of 12 trustees of the foundation. I don't know if they're scattered, but if you can just stand and join me in welcoming the members of the foundation here. Can you please stand? Jerry. CCH Pounder, Nigel Harris, Gabe Kunji, Fidel, Jerry Gulsaran, and I know, yes, Lorraine, and Colin, Professor Colin Ramsey. Join me, please, in welcoming our Chancellor as ex officio member of the board of the foundation. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now my profound pleasure to join the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, and all of you here in saying and recognizing that, Sir Ronald, you as my successor, the stewardship of this university resides in a highly respected colleague. UG has indeed found the rare combination of virtues: a distinguished scholar whose intellect is matched by the fact that he is a seasoned diplomat and a pragmatist whose feet are firmly planted in reality. As Chancellor, you inherit an institution that is on the trajectory of becoming a global brand. To the university community, I ask that you accord your new leader the same unwavering cooperation and sense of purpose that sustained me. With a heart full of gratitude and looking to the future, I feel and I see that the best days of this national university are yet to come.
We thank our former Chancellor, Professor John Edward Green, whose historiography, sir, will be etched permanently in our Caribbean Reference Library, a proud repository of primary source documentation in our hemisphere. Thank you so much, sir. Chancellor, we will now have some greetings brought to you, very brief greetings, from very important stakeholders of our university community. It is therefore my pleasure to start with the first. And so, Chancellor, I invite Professor Randolph B. Persaud, Pro-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, to bring brief commendations on behalf of the University Council. Please help me welcome him.
Good morning, and it's good to see this great turnout for the installation of the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana. Mr. President, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, Minister of Education Sonia Parag, Minister Zulfikar Ali, Chancellor Sanders, immediate past Chancellor Professor Edward Green, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Vice-Chancellor Paloma Mohamed, Deputy Chancellors Emmanuel Cummins and Diana Gobin, Registrar Dr. Nigel Gravesandi, and all of you distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good to see you here today. I am especially delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate and bid a very warm welcome to the Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Sir Ronald Sanders. For today's proceedings, I speak on behalf of the University of Guyana Council, which, as Chancellor Sanders only 2 weeks ago reminded everyone, is the highest governing authority of the university. Chancellor Sanders, of course, is the chair of the council. But who are the persons who make up this council? All too often, the names of very hard-working and committed people get lost in categories and abstractions. And in order to avoid the same, I would like to name the UG Council members because they are the people our new Chancellor will work with to realize the vision and the outcomes as the University of Guyana moves forward. And so very quickly, they are Professor Paloma Mohamed, Dr. Gravesandi, Mr. Akung, Mrs. Bovell, Dr. Carpin, Mr. DeArmas, Dr. English, Colonel Hercules, Mr. Saddam Hussein, Mr. Monroe, Dr. Murray, Professor Lucas, Mr. Pasha, Mr. Deonarine, Ms. Sonia Latchman, Ms. Sarenji, Mr. Tiwari, Mr. Ibrahim, Dr. Van Veen, Ms. Indrani Ramnarine, Dr. Erica Ford, Ms. Semple, Devendra Kisoon, Derek John, Mr. Sharad Duncan, Mr. Carville Duncan. Chancellor, please be assured that this Council looks forward to working under your leadership to ensure that this already solid institution of higher education continues to grow from strength to strength. You bring a wealth of experience from the private sector, international diplomacy, and higher education. Your training and professional experience will undoubtedly lift this university up. I take, again, this opportunity to congratulate you and to bid you a warm Guyanese welcome to the University of Guyana. On a final note, Mr. Chancellor, I must say, this is my 42nd year teaching in university, and I have never felt more energized to begin this new journey with you. Thank you and congratulations again.
Please stand as we allow His Excellency the President and Prime Minister to exit to attend to other matters of state. Thank you so kindly. You may be seated. Chancellor, it's now my pleasure to invite Professor Leland Lucas, Chairman of the Committee of Deans, to bring greetings and best wishes on behalf of the community of academics serving currently as deans. Please help me welcome Professor Leland Lucas.
Good morning, everyone, and standing on previously observed protocols, Chancellor, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Committee of Deans to welcome you to this esteemed institution. You bring to this institution a wealth of knowledge, diplomatic, academic, practical, and in so many different areas. Let me, on behalf of the Committee of Deans, commit to you that we will work with you in every way possible to continue establishing programs and improving the existing programs that are so critical to our national development goals. And we look forward to your stewardship as we build this institution forward and contribute to national development. Congratulations.
We thank Professor Lucas. Chancellor, bringing greetings on behalf of the workers of the university, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Davon Van Veen to bring his greetings. Please help me welcome him.
Honorable Minister, all other protocols previously established. Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty and staff of this university, I extend greetings on the occasion of this investiture. The office you assume today is not merely ceremonial, but the acceptance of a trust rooted in stewardship, continuity, and moral authority. The Chancellor stands as a guardian to the university's intellectual heritage and its future promise. Universities endure not because they are free from difficulty, but because they remain committed to truth, integrity, collegial governance, both in times of good and turmoil. At this pivotal juncture, we reaffirm our belief that university signifies a community of scholars bounded by mutual respect and shared responsibilities. On behalf of the academics and support staff of the University of Guyana, we offer our congratulations and we look forward, bona fide et animo concord, to your future leadership marked by fidelity to the common good. Salus Universitatis Suprema ex esto. The well-being of the academia should be the highest law. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Van Veen. Chancellor, I now invite very important constituent, the President of the University of Guyana Student Society. Please let us welcome Ms. Keisha Semple.
Good morning to all distinguished guests, members of the University Council, faculty, staff, fellow beautiful students, our beautiful Vice-Chancellor, yes, pretty as me, and our esteemed Chancellor-designate, Sir Ronald Sanders. On behalf of the University of Guyana Student Society, it is my great honor to warmly welcome you to this auspicious occasion. Today represents progress, vision, and the continued growth of an institution that shapes not only our education as students, but it shapes our confidence, our purpose, and our future. As students, we are proud to be a part of a university that challenges us, strengthens us, and prepares us to lead. Ooh, we are so excited for this new chapter and the leadership that will continue to guide this institution forward. To our Chancellor, we warmly congratulate you and assure you of our full student support. We're not so hard to deal with. And we're always enthusiastic and willing to do the work. And we continue to partner with this university for its growth and advancement. Thank you. This university is now your home, so welcome home. Thank you.
We thank the President of the University of Guyana Students Society. Chancellor, I now ask that you allow the President of the Guild of Graduates or Alumni Association, Ms. Sumati Saranje, to bring greetings on behalf of our alumni.
Good morning, everyone. All established protocols being observed. On behalf of the University of Guyana Guild of Graduates, I extend warm greetings and heartfelt congratulations to Sir Ronald Sanders on the occasion of his installation as the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana. As graduates of this institution, we remain proud of our shared academic heritage and deeply committed to the advancement of the University of Guyana. We recognize the Chancellor's role in safeguarding the values of the university and in providing guidance that inspires excellence, integrity, and service among students, faculty, and alumni alike. The Guild of Graduates looks forward to working closely with Sir Ronald Sanders in support of the university's strategic goals. We pledge our continued commitment to the University of Guyana and stand ready as alumni to support initiatives that strengthen academic excellence, institutional development, and national advancement. Sir Ronald, we warmly welcome you as the Chancellor of the University of Guyana and wish you a successful and impactful term in this high office. Thank you.
We thank you most sincerely, representing the Alumni Association. Chancellor, I have the honor to now present to you those representatives of other tertiary institutions and regional institutions who would have journeyed to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to be part of this historic occasion. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of inviting Professor Derek Shadé, representing the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles. Please help me welcome the esteemed representative of UWI.
Honorable Minister, Chair, kindly allow me to stand on protocols previously established. On this auspicious occasion, it is a pleasure and privilege to join this distinguished gathering for the formal installation of the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Sir Ronald Sanders. On behalf of the University of the West Indies, I extend warm congratulations to Sir Ronald on this well-established appointment and well-deserved. His distinguished record of service as broadcaster, journalist, diplomat, scholar, and international advocate reflects a lifetime dedicated to Caribbean development, regional integration, and principled leadership. His voice has consistently brought clarity, insight, and balance to complex regional and global issues. The University of the West Indies has long recognized Sir Ronald's scholarship and public service, and in 2014 conferred upon him the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters. Our affinity with the University of Guyana has strong historical foundations. Many of you will recall that a former Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor E. Nigel Harris, also served as Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies from 2004. Since the founding of the University of Guyana in 1963, our universities have been bound by shared values and common purpose, strengthening Caribbean identity, advancing regional development, and building institutional capacity for the future. Our shared legacy and connections continue as we remain united by a common commitment to the development of our region, to safeguarding the welfare of our peoples, and to preparing our societies for a rapidly changing world in which continuous learning is no longer optional, but essential. Guyana now stands at a pivotal moment in its national development. As the country undergoes significant economic and social transformation, universities would be central to nurturing talent, reversing the brain drain, and anchoring sustainable progress. In this context, we welcome the University of Guyana's Blueprint 2040 and the opportunities it presents for deeper collaboration and regional partnership. Chancellor, you have described yourself in 2014 as a consummate Caribbean man, and your life's work bears witness to that philosophy. You have answered the call to serve, to return, and to contribute, guided by a vision of a stronger, more integrated Caribbean. You bring to this office your vision, your wisdom, your experience, your foresight, and under your leadership, the University of Guyana will continue to strengthen its role as a national and regional anchor and an international institution. Once again, the University of the West Indies congratulates you on your installation as Chancellor and wishes you every success as you lead this institution into its next chapter. Thank you.
Chancellor, led by our distinguished Vice-Chancellor, academic and scholar, over the last 5 years, the University of Guyana will have forged strategic relations with the Caribbean Examinations Council. And it is under her leadership that there's been the accelerated deepening of relations between CXC and the University of Guyana. Journeying on the heels of a historic election in Barbados on the 11th, it is my pleasure to invite the CEO and Registrar of the CXC, Dr. Wayne Wesley, to bring greetings on behalf of CXC. Please welcome him.
Chancellor, Sir Ronald Sanders, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mohamed Martin, our Minister of Education, Mrs. Sonia Parang, Dr. Nigel Graves Sandy, Registrar of the University of Guyana, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students, members of the University of Guyana family, it is always a good day to be in Guyana, and I am delighted to join you in celebrating the installation of the esteemed Sir Ronald Sanders as your 11th Chancellor. I bring you best wishes of Sir Hilary Beckles, Chair of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Examinations Council, other distinguished members of Council, and the management and staff of the Caribbean Examinations Council. When the news broke of Sir Ronald's appointment, there was the shared view that this was a masterstroke, not only for the University of Guyana, but for Guyana and the Caribbean, at such a momentous period in the history of the world. None of us are strangers to Sir Ronald's distinguished scholarship and career, spanning journalism, public policy, diplomacy, and international advocacy. In my own reflecting on engaging with Sir Ronald's work, I'm particularly struck by his publications in the Jamaica Gleaner. You remember those, Sir Ronald? Addressing issues faced by small island developing states. Having studied international political economy myself, I found two of his articles especially resonant. In the article, Small Island States Must Defend Themselves, in November 2026 of 2022, you discuss climate change and the major threat it has on the regional economy and encourage proactive actions for survival. In another article on June 8, 2024, you wrote on small island states in global arena, navigating survival and sovereignty. Sir Ronald calls for strong leadership and regional cooperation among small island states. It caught me in reflecting about colonialism and sovereignization, but I will leave that for another time. We are convinced that your force of intellect and masterful understanding of the global complexities of our times will add immense value to the University of Guyana. This is important for us because the University of Guyana is a key member of the Caribbean Examinations Governing Council. And we are grateful beneficiaries of the consistent wisdom and strategic guidance we receive from the Chancellor, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, Vice-Chancellor, prophetically, Vice-Chancellor. For this and the many forward-thinking programs of study and research at UG, we know that the university is going places. We are persuaded that Sir Ronald Sanders' leadership will bring added impetus to your blueprint for 2040 vision to become one of the most sought-after educational institutions in the world. Be assured, yes, be assured that the Caribbean Examinations Council is your reliable partner in this endeavor. We stand with you. We stand with Professor Paloma Martin and the teaching faculty. We stand with the student body, and we stand with you, Sir Ronald Sanders. Once again, congratulations. Under your leadership, the University of Guyana is in good hands. God bless you.
Chancellor, a mystery is defined as something that is accepted but not understood. The next greeting comes from a mystery of the 4 Gs and a synergy that exists. It's Grenada, it's Guyana, it's Grenade, and it's Grave Sandy. Dr. Grenade, from the T.A. Marshall College in Grenada, journeyed from the Spice Isle to be with us. And she's accompanied by Dr. Marva Bowen Neptune, the distinguished registrar of the T.A. Marshall Community College. Help me welcome one component of the 4G, Dr. Wendy Grenade. Please give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Grave Sandy, and good morning. I recognize the Minister of Education, Chancellor, and to all the distinguished guests who are here this morning. I bring warm greetings from Grenada, and in particular, greetings from the T.A. Marshall Community College. Greetings from the College Council, from the management and staff of TAMCC. It is indeed my pleasure to be here joining you as we celebrate the installation of Sir Ronald Sanders as the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana. And I want to commend the University of Guyana for what it has been doing as Guyana grows in this new dispensation. Chancellor, you bring to this university a wealth of experience. You're a seasoned, distinguished diplomat, an international scholar, a public intellectual, and more so, you are a Caribbean man dedicated to regional integration. And in the spirit of T.A. Marshall, who was himself the father of integration, I bring you greetings. I remember having an interview with you in 2005, and you helped me to understand why Caribbean small states must stand tall in our smallness. You helped me to understand how, despite our vulnerabilities, we must build resilience. In your 2005 seminal book, Crumbled Small, the Commonwealth, Caribbean, and World Affairs, you gave us a blueprint for how we must navigate the rough waves of the international system. And back then, the waves were not as rough as they are now. So for such a time as this, you have been elevated to this high office. And I know you would bring all of who you are. When you advocate for collective diplomacy, you want to see us build collective resilience. When you advocate for global justice, you want the Caribbean to stand tall in the world. And I know that the University of Guyana is blessed to have you as its new chancellor. On behalf of the T.A. Marshall Community College, we congratulate you. We await the possibilities that exist between our institution and yours for deeper cooperation, because it's only through partnerships, it's only through cooperation that we can grow and develop as a Caribbean region. So we welcome you and we look forward to all that can exist between our both institutions as we work collectively to strengthen our Caribbean civilization. Congratulations.
We thank Dr. Wendy Grenard, the chairman of the T.A. Marshall Community College, accompanied by Dr. Marva Boyd-Neptune, for bringing those revolutionary greetings from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean. Let us give Dr. Wendy Grenard a big hand. Chairman, nestled on the Grand Anse Beach in Grenada again is the university, St. George's University. And the assistant provost for community engagement and service at the St. George's University, Dr. Gabrielle Walcott-Bideau, who is accompanied on this occasion by the Dean of the St. George's University, Dr. Arlette Henry. Let us greet the Provost, Dr. Bideau, who will bring greetings on behalf of the St. George's University. Please let us welcome her.
Good morning, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, family, friends. I bring warm sunshine greetings on behalf of the President, Dr. Marios Lucas, and Provost, Dr. Mark Clunes, from St. George's University in Grenada. They send their sincere apologies for being unable to attend due to this historic occasion. Today, St. George's University is represented by two delegates, Dr. Arlette Henry, Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, and myself, Dr. Gabrielle Walcott-Bideau, Assistant Provost for Community Outreach and Service Learning. Having served in Trinidad and in Grenada for the past 20 years, I must confess I am a daughter of the soil. And in case you missed it, as a Guyanese by birth, it is a special honor to be here for this historic occasion. I am filled with pride and I am humbled by this moment that celebrates not only academic leadership, but also national and regional pride. So we are gathered to mark this installation. Dr. Sanders shows diplomacy, intellect, integrity, but I want to emphasize a commitment to service. In Guyana, we have a proverb, one hand can't clap. And so it reminds us that progress, excellence, and nation building is always through collaboration. And so this installation should symbolize wisdom, service, but most importantly, when I look and I see my colleagues, that partnership between education and national and regional development. So again, on behalf of St. George's University, I want to extend our heartfelt congratulations, best wishes on this tenure. I look forward to innovation, vision, and impact. And please accept our respect, admiration, and hopes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you kindly, Dr. Bido, for those greetings. Chancellor, I now have the pleasure of inviting the chairman of the Board of Governors for the University of Trinidad and Tobago, with whom we partner in the delivery of our petroleum engineering program. Help me welcome Professor Selwyn Kojo from the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
Sir Ronald, Chancellor of the University, Paloma, Mohamed, Martin, greetings. I want to start by saying all protocols reserved rather than going through all the other things. But it's good to be back in Guyana after so many years. I first came to Guyana in 1972, the first non-aligned conference and the start of CARIFESTA. And over the years, I've made great friends with great academics who've made themselves well known over the world. Martin Carter, Wilson Harris, I got to know his father, Walter Rodney, and others. So it's good to be back here representing the University of Trinidad and Tobago and to join with these great scholars who shall certainly bring a new dawn to this institution, which has been so very significant for us, certainly in the Caribbean, but certainly for us at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, on behalf of the governors, the acting president, the wider University of Trinidad and Tobago community, I extend warm congratulations to the University of Guyana and Sir Ronald Sanders on the occasion of his installation as the 11th Chancellor of this distinguished institution. Sir Ronald's appointment brings to this office a rare combination of scholarship, diplomacy, regional leadership, but more importantly, the intensity and success of a Caribbean man who's done well worldwide. So he represents all that we stand for in the academic community, living together, moving forward, and how small states come together to decide their destiny in a world that's bereft, that have a lot of importance, people like Mr. Trump and fellows who want to do all kinds of things to us. So scholarship and education and certainly diplomacy would be certainly the way to go. Sir Ronald's appointment brings to this office a rare combination of scholarship, diplomacy, and regional leadership. A son of Guyana with advanced academic training in international relations and a distinguished record of service at the highest level of international diplomacy, he has consistently, as other speakers have noted, the interests of small island states and the Caribbean within the global system, I think also as your president spoke of this morning. His long-standing advocacy of regional cooperation, principled global engagement, and the role of education in national development resonates strongly with the shared values of our institution in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, the whole reason and rationale for the University of Trinidad and Tobago was to do those small things which the University of West Indies, as a regional institution, was not doing. The University of Trinidad and Tobago places great value in its long-standing productive relationship with Guyana, something that we prize very, very much and hope to continue with intensity and love as we go along. Since 2018, our universities have collaborated closely in joint delivery of international accredited programs in petroleum engineering, combining Guyana's emergent energy landscape with Trinidad and Tobago's long-established experience in that sector, I think goes back to about 1917. So here's, of course, a productive relation of people who are doing the same kinds of things. Through this partnership, Guyanese students have accessed high-quality, regional, grounded education, producing graduates who are already contributing meaningfully to Guyana's rapidly developing oil industry and gas industry, which we duly hope to continue in many ways. This collaboration stands as a practical demonstration of what regional higher education can achieve. That is, shared expertise, strong quality assurance, and programs aligned to national and regional development. It reflects the mutual commitment to academic excellence, professional standards, and the preparation of skilled professionals to serve the Caribbean and the world. It's in that sense that we are here to offer warm congratulations to your appointment, to see a continuation of the programs that we have had before, and to wish you every success as the Chancellor of University of Guyana and as it continues to grow with distinction. Right? So very nice to be here, and congrats.
Chancellor, also journeying from the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, is the President of the University of the Southern Caribbean, Dr. Colwick Wilson. And Chancellor, we'd like to invite him to bring greetings for and on behalf of the University of the Southern Caribbean. Please help me welcome Dr. Colwick Wilson.
Minister, Honorable Minister of Education, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, standing on the protocols already established, I want to say, sir, that I did journey from Trinidad, but I had the distinct honor of being born in Guyana. So it is both a pleasure and privilege to bring greetings from the University of the Southern Caribbean as we celebrate the installation of Sir Ronald Sanders as the 11th Chancellor of the University of Guyana. Sir Ronald's work is a masterclass in principled leadership across diplomacy, academia, and public service. He is consistently given voice to small states and strengthen multilateral institutions and demonstrate that with integrity, intellect, courage, that can shape the outcomes even in most complex international arenas. Whether guiding consensus at the Organization of American States, shaping Commonwealth reform, or advancing Caribbean interests on the global stage, he has shown what steady ethical leadership looks like, especially in moments that demand calm and clarity. Universities exist to cultivate critical thinking, moral responsibility, and service beyond oneself. The University of Guyana has long embodied these ideals, and under Sir Ronald's chancellorship, I am confident that the university will continue to expand its regional influence, strengthen global partnerships, and inspire students to lead with purpose and integrity. And I'm proud to know that the University of Guyana has done that in the lives of thousands of Guyanese and others who came by to study here. It is therefore fitting that this great institution entrust its chancellorship to a statesman who understands the power of ideas, the responsibility of institutions, and the promise of education to transform societies. Sir Ronald brings to this office not only global experience, but a deep respect for scholarship and for universities as guardians of truth, dialogue, and nation building. On behalf, therefore, of the University of the Southern Caribbean, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Sir Ronald Sanders on this distinguished appointment. We look forward to continued collaboration among Caribbean institutions of higher learning, united in our shared mission to educate, innovate, and uplift our region. Sir Ronald, may your tenure as Chancellor be marked with wisdom, vision, and enduring impact. Congratulations, and may God's richest blessings attend your service. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, President of the University of the Southern Caribbean. Chancellor, we have also received best wishes on your appointment from the Antigua State College, the President, Dr. Anderson from the Association of Caribbean Tertiary Institutions, from Trent University, and from the President and Principals of Arizona State University, who expressed regrets of not being here. Chancellor, we will now have a brief rendition of the hymn for Guyana's Children by Valerie Rodway, done for us by the Guyana Police Military Brass Band. Let us be entertained for about a minute or so by the Guyana Police Force Band doing Guyana's Children, hymn to Guyana's Children. We thank the director and members of the band. Chancellor, I now invite our Vice-Chancellor to formally extend an invitation to you to deliver your inaugural address. Please greet our Vice-Chancellor.
Might I recognize in our audience Lady Susan Saunders. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the greatest pleasure to invite our newly installed Chancellor to deliver his what might be called inaugural or maiden address. Please give him the biggest round of applause.
Honorable Minister of Education, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, leaders of the private sector and civil society, representatives of sister universities, members of the University Council and Trust Fund, Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, faculty, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. I feel as if this moment has been a long time coming this morning. But I thank you all for your patience. Now, before I begin my formal address, my first words must be an expression of thanks. I thank the University Council for selecting me as the 11th Chancellor of this distinguished institution. I thank His Excellency President Irfan Ali and the Honorable Minister of Education, Sonia Pirard, for the confidence they have shown in endorsing the Council's decision. And I thank all of you who have taken time from your demanding and busy schedules to be present at this installation. And that comes from my heart. Today is a day of special significance, not only because of this ceremony, but because it is World Radio Day. Why should that be important? It's important because it was through radio that I began my service to Guyana and the wider Caribbean as a broadcaster in the early years of our region's independence. As this day is marked globally, I pay tribute to the memory of the many broadcasters from Guyana and across the Caribbean with whom I was privileged to work in advancing national development during those formative years of our CARICOM journey. I am particularly pleased that two members of that pioneering company in Guyana are present today. Carlton James, my friend from boyhood, and Vic Incinelli. It was said here by several people that I am a Caribbean man, and indeed I am. I believe fervently in the importance of integration of the Caribbean community. I believe passionately that if we are to survive as small states in a turbulent world, which is becoming more turbulent by the day, it is absolutely essential that we act in unity against the tides that are now rising against us. In that context, I want to thank this occasion. I want to use this occasion to thank the people and government of Antigua and Barbuda, with whom, in my international and Caribbean service over the last 50 years, I have been their servant. And I am thankful to them for giving me the privilege of being the Chancellor of this university. There's another reason why 13th of February is special. And it's not because Friday the 13th is regarded as an unlucky number. Indeed, I do not regard it as unlucky at all. February the 13th, today, is my wife's birthday. And she is with us here today, so I thank you all for joining in the party. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I accept the office of Chancellor of the University of Guyana with humility, but with a clear sense of duty. Universities exist to prepare a society for the world it is entering. Each of the chancellors who preceded me understood the importance of that fundamental truth. I am deeply conscious that I follow an impressive line of former chancellors, including William Demas, with whom I worked as his executive assistant to the Caribbean Development Bank in the early days of our Caribbean integration movement, and Sir Sridath Ramphal. These two men were my mentors and enduring inspirations throughout my life. I also know that I follow 4 other distinguished Guyanese and Caribbean luminaries with whom I was honored to work in advancing the project of regional integration. And I'm delighted that at least 2 of them are here today, Nigel Harris and Edward Green. I shall endeavor to emulate the vision, integrity, and public service that mark their example. And I acknowledge with respect all the former chancellors and pro-chancellors of this university and its vice-chancellors, whose stewardship in early chapters helped to preserve and advance this institution to the moment we now inherit. In accepting this office, I see my responsibility as helping to sustain the university's integrity, its relevance, and confidence in a time of rapid national change. Guyana today stands at the hinge of history. Economic possibility has widened. National expectations have risen. Global competition has sharpened. In such moments, a country's future is not secured by resources alone. It is secured by what its people know, how quickly they learn, and how effectively they apply knowledge. That is the quiet power of a university. And that is the responsibility that now rests in large measure on this institution. In today's world, knowledge is not an ornament of development. It is its engine. Capital is mobile. Technology is transferable. Natural resources are finite. But a skilled, adaptive, critically minded population is the only sustainable advantage that nations retain. As artificial intelligence reshapes work, governance, and production, the university must ensure that Guyana's people are not passive consumers of technology, but confident shapers of it. At a time when Guyana's sovereignty is being tested and its future weighed in laws and evidence at a distant court, the university's role in cultivating knowledge, confidence, and national clarity becomes essential, not peripheral. If Guyana is to prosper beyond boom cycles, if it is to avoid enclave growth and continuous reliance on imported expertise, if it is to translate opportunity into broad-based national advancement, then the University of Guyana must sit at the very center of that national project, not at its margins, not as an observer, but as a driver of capability, confidence, and competence. The government's decision to make university education free is historic. It removes the price barrier between talent and opportunity. From now on, ability and diligence, not wealth and status, should determine who advances. But access alone is not achievement. Free education creates possibilities, but it does not guarantee outcomes. The obligation now shifts to students to commit themselves fully, and to the university to ensure that what is offered is rigorous, relevant, and resilient. Free education must not mean cheap education. It must mean valuable education that facilitates both individual and national growth. The university deserves recognition for expanding learning beyond its physical campus through virtual education. In a country of vast distances and dispersed communities, this matters profoundly. But we must be candid. Virtual education is not yet equal education. Constraints of connectivity, digital literacy, assessment integrity, and student engagement remain very real. If virtual learning is to become a true instrument of inclusion, rather than a convenience, it must be continuously strengthened, supported, and refined. Digital education must be treated not as a substitute, but as a discipline in its own right, held to clear standards and improved relentlessly. A modern university cannot be built on yesterday's infrastructure. A physical campus designed for approximately 5,000 students is now carrying more than 16,000. That level of strain is unsustainable and risks eroding quality, safety, and academic standards. Classrooms, laboratories, libraries, lecture theaters, housing, and research spaces are not luxuries for universities. They are the tools of national capacity building. Government has a vital role to play in addressing this reality, but it cannot and should not carry that responsibility alone. The private sector in this country draws its engineers, its managers, its technicians, its analysts, and innovators from this university. If business depends on the university's output, then business has a responsibility to invest in the capacity that makes that output possible. This is not philanthropy, it is strategic self-interest. In today's economy, knowledge must travel the full distance. It must move from research to application, from insight to innovation, from publication to actual production. The university must strengthen its ability to translate research into value through partnerships, consultancies, intellectual property, incubation, and applied problem solving. I have spent only a little time in this campus so far, but from what I see of its research potential, it is great. And I would mention two things only that I have witnessed. One is that the Center for Early Education in this country is very far advanced. Its research work is phenomenal. And many of you may not know it, but it has produced 2 books which are now compulsory reading at the University of the West Indies. Why? Because this is the only campus that has produced that research. I have seen other opportunities here, for instance, in the biodiversity section, where the flora and fauna are kept, building not far from here. Not kept in the greatest of conditions, but kept nonetheless. And what are that flora and fauna? It is money, because those things can be converted into money. It is why people do research in these areas. What we have here are the elements for all sorts of cosmetics, all sorts of drugs that are needed around the world. We are sitting on a gold mine, if only we would exploit it. That the university must also start to do, more vigorously than it has done in the past. Now, I say all of this to say that the university must strengthen its ability to translate that research into value through partnerships, consultancies, intellectual property incubation, and applied problem solving. I repeat that point. This does not diminish scholarship. It extends its relevance. A university that generates ideas but never converts them into national capacity leaves value unrealized. Now, Guyana's economy is changing rapidly. Oil and gas, expanded agriculture, agro-processing and manufacturing, all of these on the horizon. Environmental management, logistics, data analysis, public policy, and regulation. The university must gear its curricula to these imperatives with clear purpose and objectives aligned to national development plans. And we heard that plea from President Ali in his address earlier today. This does not mean neglecting the humanities, social sciences, or pure research. It means recognizing that economic transformation requires intellectual preparation. It means a modern university must have engineers who understand ethics, economists who understand society, scientists who understand policy, and leaders who understand history. Balance in everything is strength. Guyana's future will be shaped not only by what it extracts from the earth and sea, but by what this university forms in the minds, skills, and character of its people. There can be no nobler task and none more vital to the development of a resilient and confident Guyana in a highly competitive world. That is the task before this university, and it is a task to which I gladly and humbly pledge my hand. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Chancellor. Please be seated. We'll now have Chancellor, a very brief, and it's in your program, Stitch, My Guyana El Dorado, done very briefly for us by the Guyana Police Force Military Band. We thank the Guyana Police Force Band. And as we come to the end of our very historic and solemn installation of our dear President, Sir Ronald Sanders, it is now my pleasure to invite the Chancellor to dismiss the congregation and to ask all those in the congregation to remain standing for the Chancellor's procession to exit our auditorium. Chancellor, I now invite you to dismiss our congregation.
This is the duty I have to perform that I'm sure will be most welcomed by you all. This brings our proceedings to an end, and I declare the congregation dismissed. Thank you all very much.